nation. Hebrew kingdom building.
Go to Bemidbar chapter 20. And we're going to start with verse 14. Let's have Benai Yahu on it. Give him a microphone. There we go.
Khan. Numbers chapter 20, verse 14. Now Moshe sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. Thus says your brother Israel.
So Moshe basically sent Malakim. It's almost as if he like dispatched Malakim. And he sent them from Kadesh to the Melech of Edom. You can even say the king of Adam. You know, Edom is about the soil. It's red. That comes from Adama, just like Adam. So the idea of Edom is that Edom is like fleshly, worldly. They're real worldly people. They're a worldly nation. But that's the kinfolk of, they're Hebrews. They come from Abraham too. They came from Abraham and Isaac. Then Isaac had Esau and Jacob. That's where Edom comes from. They kinfolk. So the Most High gave a word not to they can't fight Edom while they were in the wilderness. They were not allowed to fight Edom. So they had just went through a lot. This is when the big Korah's rebellion happened. You know, in the last Torah portion, you had then the Most High gave the laws on tithing, and the laws of purification was in the previous chapter, where you use the red heifer. Anybody know the word for red and under red heifer? Look it up. You're close. It's pretty much right. In chapter 19 for the red heifer. Oh, yeah, that's right. He said Aduma. Yeah. So that comes from Edom or Adam. The red heifer is Adama. That's like the soil, like the clay. So Edom is really, when it says a red heifer, they're really saying like a Adama heifer. And in the laws of purification, the heifer had to be, that was required for a priest to be able to do the priesthood. So without the Adama heifer, there's no priesthood. Like you had to have that for them to get consecrated to be able to do the work. It was the ashes of the Adama heifer, but just throwing that in there just because it's interesting that in the next chapter, then they go into the nation of Adam or Edom. Are y'all okay? Are y'all cold? I'm cold too. I was just trying to make sure that I wasn't. Hallelujah. Shout out Shamar Dawood. Oh, I don't know. It ain't even. Is that for the other? It's for the other one. Oh, there it go. You just gotta kind of let it roll. Yeah, and them like 75. All right. Verse 14.
Numbers chapter 20, verse 14. Now Moshe sent Malachim from Kadesh to the king of Edom. Thus says your brother Israel, you know all the hardship that has befallen us.
They knew. They knew. That's their brothers. Keep going.
How our fathers went down to Mitzrayim, and we dwelt in Mitzrayim a long time, and the Mitzrayites afflicted us and our fathers. When we cried out to Yahuwah, he heard our voice and sent the Malach and brought us up out of Mitzrayim. Now here we are in Kadesh, a city on the edge of your border. Please let us pass through your country. We will not pass through fields or vineyards, nor will we drink water from wells. We will go along the king's highway. We will not turn aside to the right hand or to the left until we have passed through your territory.
So they're on the way to the promised land. But going on the way to the promised land, there were obstacles. You could not just walk through to the promised land. There were establishments in the wilderness. There were cities, there were nations that were established in certain parts of the wilderness to where you can't just walk to the promised land. Some of these places, you know what you got to do, y'all? You got to get permission. You got to actually, man, it's like you got to get a permit. They got restrictions out there, fam. You feel what I'm saying? You got to get a permit to get to the promised land. Yahuwah promised them, and he's going to send them to the promised land. So they on their way, and now they dealing with this whole other nation. They dealing with Esau, who's saying, nah, I know you're asking for permission. They did all the right things. They didn't try to like I be trying to do sometimes. They didn't try to like figure out a shortcut. They went through all the proper protocol. They went to the king. They went through all the proper protocols. Listen, y'all. Let me tell y'all something, man. Look. Let me get up. Tired. I know y'all tired too. That's why I'm going to get up. Hopefully that'll help y'all to get through this without falling asleep, because this is important. Moshe, you know, I probably would have been tempted. I bet Moshe was tempted to be like, man, Yahuwah already said he's going to give us the promised land. Why are we asking these dudes for permission? We finna walk through there, and if they got a problem, the Most High will give them into our hands. The Most High said we couldn't take the land. That don't mean that we can't defend ourselves. We just walking. That's a temptation. Is that going against Torah by defending yourself and your family? All you trying to do is just walk to the promised land. They went through all the correct protocols. They got messengers. They sent them to the king. Wasn't no shortcuts, nothing. And then they asked permission. The right way. They even, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Keep reading.
Verse 18. Then Edom said to him, you shall not pass through my land, lest I come out against you with the sword.
Oh, man. So basically, not only did they say that you should not do this, but then the threat came behind that, didn't it? You shall not pass through this land, and you know what? If you do, these are the consequences. If you do, we're going to put y'all back in captivity and cut y'all down with the sword. If you do, you can go to jail. Let's keep reading.
Verse 19. So the children of Israel said to him, we will go by the highway, and if I or my livestock drink any of your water, then I will pay for it.
Y'all see this? So the Most High have blessed them with resources, and they're like, man, well, whatever, you know, anything that we drink, we're not going to be stealing. You know, if livestock drinks from you, we'll pay for it. Edom knew that they could pay for it. They had herds and flocks. They knew this. We'll do business in your nation. We'll help to strengthen the economy. Like, we'll help out your community. We'll do business there. We'll buy stuff. What did he say? Keep going.
Let me only pass through on foot, nothing more.
So he's like, man, we're not even passing through on horseback, none of that. We on foot. So that means, because y'all filled with horses, so that means y'all have the upper hand in everything. That's how you know we not trying to do nothing. We just trying to pass through on foot. What did he say? Verse 20.
Verse 20. Then he said, you shall not pass through. So Edom came out against them with many men and with a strong hand. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his territory. So Israel turned away from him.
So Israel did what?
Turned away from him.
Israel quit. Israel said, oh man, this promised land might not be for us. They went a different direction. They turned away. It's irritating. Now we're going to have to go all the way around. It's going to be longer. But all you can do is keep going. So then after that, you see the death of Aharon takes place after that happened. So they're moving through the wilderness and they're trying to get to the promised land. They're wandering, but this is the end of the 40 years. We know that because Aaron died. Aaron was one of the last people to die before it was time to go over to the promised land. We know that Moshe was the last person that needed to die from that generation, but Aaron was right, you know, they were right there by each other. Then you go into chapter 21, and now you see victory, you see war. The Most High delivering the enemies into the hands of the Kodashim. Then we go to verse 4. Then we go to verse 4. I want y'all to read, go to chapter 21. We're going to read verses 4 through 9. So this is right after they just whooped the Canaanites. Then what happened? Verse 4.
Numbers chapter 21, verse 4. Then they journeyed from Mount Hor by way of the Red Sea to go around the land of Edom.
To go around what?
The land of Edom.
Sometimes you just got to go around the obstacle to get where it's going to take longer. It'll be more work. But sometimes you just got to go around it. And what happened, though, when they went around the land of Edom?
And the soul of the people became very discouraged on the way.
Come on, man. The Most High said they'll take the promised land. You ran into an obstacle, you got to go the longer way now. Now you discouraged. What do they say? Verse 5.
Verse 5, and the people spoke against Eluah and against Moshe. Why have you brought us out of Mizraim to die in the wilderness? For there is no food and no water, and our soul loathes this worthless bread.
There's no what?
Food and no water.
So now it's like there's some lack going on. Some lack. Man, we going this long, drawn out way, And man, money running out. We getting thin on our resources. And we tired of eating this worthless bread. You know, they call the manna from the Shamaim worthless bread. Woo. The Most High been providing for them this whole 40 years so that they would lack nothing. And they're complaining because they're focusing on what they don't have instead of seeing that they are through and they have everything that they need. You're down and out. You're ready to murmur. You're ready to complain against the Most High. Because you feel like you're low on resources, because maybe some of your resources are low. Maybe you're low on funds. Maybe you don't have as much money as you used to. Maybe you don't have as much food in the pantry as you used to. But have you lacked anything? Is there anybody in here who's starving? Is there anybody in here who don't have food on the table, roof over their heads? Yahuwah said, we will lack nothing. He didn't say everybody will be millionaires with food of abundance and be able to ball out of control. That don't mean that's not going to come, because I actually do believe that's coming. Not, in a moderate sense. In a moderate sense. But he said we will lack nothing. We have lacked nothing. Nobody in here have lacked anything. Things might have got low. Things might have got tight. Things might have came up. And things have came up. And all praises to the Most High. Pretty much every time things came up, we've been able to do something about it. That I can think of, yeah. So nobody has lacked anything here. But what happens when there's a certain mindset, a certain lifestyle that you have in mind, and if some uncomfortabilities happen that maybe shifts that, you can veer into murmuring and complaining against the Most High when He's the one who did it. The Most High, if Yahuwah wanted to, He could have made an easy road straight to the Promised Land, but He did not do that. He made the journey to the Promised Land full of obstacles, full of fights. They had to war their way into the Promised Land, huh? Then when they got to the Promised Land, they had to war some more, didn't they? What allure do you think we serve? But don't get discouraged from the obstacles, because those obstacles may very well be purposely put there to make you stronger, to prepare you, and like Ahmed just said, to test you. But what happens when you test it and you pass? You come on the other side stronger. Read verse 4 again.
Numbers chapter 21, verse 4. Then they journeyed from Mount Kor by the way of the Red Sea to go around the land of Edom. And the soul of the people became very discouraged on the way.
So it's the nefesh that become discouraged. It was the nefesh of the people, the soul. That's how you know this was about desires. This was about the lust of the flesh. You was used to eating a certain way. Now you're not eating the way that you was used to. You was used to doing things. It was about the lust of the flesh. That's what became discouraged. Your nefesh will cause you to murmur. Your nefesh will cause you to offend the Most High if you don't put it in check. Keep going.
Verse 5. And the people spoke against Eluah and against Moshe. Why have you brought us up out of Mitzrayim to die in the wilderness? For there is no food and no water, and our soul loathes this worthless bread. So Yahuwah sent fiery serpents among the people.
He sent what?
Fiery serpents among the people.
So he sent fiery serpents over that. Fiery serpents. And what did the serpents do?
And they bit the people.
They did what?
Bit the people.
And what happened after that?
And many of the people of Israel died.
Man. Keep going.
Verse 7. Therefore the people came to Moshe and said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against Yahuwah and against you. Pray to Yahuwah that he take away the serpents from us. So Moshe prayed for the people.
All right. So this is giving away what's happened here. That's what the fiery serpents represents. The fiery serpents, that's Hasatan. That's Hasatan. The fiery serpents, that's Hasatan. Remember, go to Ephesians 6 real quick. Ephesians 6 and then read verse 14. Wait till everybody gets there. (14 through 16). Let's get it.
Ephesians chapter 6, verse 14. Stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having shod your feet with the preparation of the basar of shalom. Above all, taking the shield of emunah, with which you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked one.
All the what?
Fiery darts of the wicked one.
All the what?
Fiery darts.
Of who?
The wicked one.
Who's the wicked one?
Hasatan.
That's the serpent, right? The fiery darts. Why do you think it didn't say that Yahuwah sent serpents? It said he sent fiery serpents. That's Hasatan. And then there's something and then with their mouth they kill people. With their mouth they killed many people. That's Hasatan. That's why you have to have the shield of emunah to quench the fiery darts. That's a teaching. That's a word. Let's go back to Numbers 20. 21, I mean. Numbers 21. Let's go back where we were just at. Read verse 7 again.
Numbers chapter 21, verse 7. Therefore the people came to Moshe and said, we have sinned.
Why?
For we have spoken against Yahuwah and against you.
Y'all see this? That's the fiery serpents. Why were they speaking against Yahuwah and speaking against Moshe? It was a lack of emunah. There was a teaching that they received and they took hold of, and it caused them to move into unbelief, to move into rebellion. That's why the Most High responded by sending fiery serpents, because that's what happened to them. They were hit by the fiery darts of the wicked one. They didn't have the shield of faith to quench them. They didn't have the shield of faith, so they was getting hit with them, and it caused them. That was a response to a teaching they received, I submit. Their complaining and murmuring was a response to a word that they received from Hasatan. All right, keep reading.
Numbers chapter 21, verse 8. Then Yahuwah said to Moshe, make a fiery serpent and set it on a pole. And it shall be that everyone who is bitten, when he looks at it, shall live.
He's trying to show you how to quench the fiery darts of the wicked. The wicked one, he's trying to show you how to handle this. Read it again, verse 8.
Verse 8, then Yahuwah said to Moshe, make a fiery serpent and set it on a pole. And it shall be that everyone who is bitten, when he looks at it, shall live.
Y'all, this is the Ruach. This is the Ruach. What did Mori Manu, he had made I remember Mori Manu had made an analogy. He was talking to Jordan. And he said, if you have a vessel that has what in it? That has water in it, with what happens to the vessel? That's a bite. It's a vessel that's bitten. It has a hole in it. That water is going to spill out if there's not water being constantly poured into it. This is how you combat that, right here. Read verse 8 again.
Verse 8, then Yahuwah said to Moshe, make a fiery serpent and set it on a pole. And it shall be that everyone who is bitten, when he looks at it, shall live.
When he looks at what?
The fiery serpent on the pole.
He shall live.
He shall live.
Keep going.
Verse 9, so Moshe made a bronze serpent and put it on a pole. And so it was, if a serpent had bitten anyone, when he looked at the bronze serpent, he lived.
So what is this saying? This is saying, look up. Focus on the things Yahuwah tells you to focus on. Even, that's not easy to do. Think about if you're bitten. What's the first thing to do? Panic. You get bit by a serpent? These are fiery serpents. They were sent by the Most High, so they were probably just big and crazy. Probably some cobras or something, man. Boom, bite. And then they just saw your homie die too. Now you got hit and they poisonous. The first thing to do is to probably panic. But what the word is no. Focus on this thing that I told you to focus on. Don't panic. Be still. Focus on me. And if you do that, you'll survive. Did he say if you do that, then the bite won't hurt? Did he say if you do that, the poison will come out? Seep out of your body? No, you'll probably feel the poison in your body. You'll probably feel your heart beat faster. You'll probably even feel you get disoriented and everything. They're just saying you're not going to die. We don't be thinking about this stuff, man. That's some immunah. You have to focus. You're getting disoriented. That junk itching, that junk hurt, man, bleeding. You got a hole in your vessel. And you focusing. Your heart beating fast. Your head hurting. You got poison in your body. Just focus. Don't look away. Focus on what Yahuwah told you to focus on. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on him. And you'll survive it. These bites might hurt. These bites might make you might get some blurry vision for a little bit. It might make you disoriented. You for a couple of days, you might not be walking straight. We asking you what's wrong because you been kind of off the last couple of days. Because you got bit. You got poison in you. But you got to keep your eyes on the things that are eternal. And not on his circumstances, and you can get through that. The Most High will make sure that you get through it. It's a teaching, y'all. The fiery darts of the wicked. Go to Genesis 3. Y'all there? Bereshit chapter 3. All right, let's do it. Verse 1.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field.
The serpent is cunning. It's more cunning than any beast of the field. That's why when the serpent comes at you with a teaching, it is not a small thing. You got to have a shield, man. You got to be. And the shield, listen, y'all. Have anybody seen any of the ancient wars when they use a shield? Does it block 100% of everything? Nah, the shield just lessens your chance of getting killed. Right. You probably would just try to cover your vitals, but you might still get hit. So the shield is to quench the fiery darts of the wicked, but you might catch one. And then you got to focus on Yahuwah so you don't die. You might not be able to dodge everything. It's just like what Jordan was saying. His situation is at his house. How you gonna dodge that? You might get hit a couple of times. You have to know how to focus on Yahuwah. Mormon didn't know anything about what we was gonna be talking about, and what did he tell you to do? Be in the jungle. Be on all the calls. He's telling you what to focus on. Do those things, and that's how you keep that. You can have a hole in the vessel, but it's still gonna be full because why? You pouring water in it like a mug. You know, if you pour water in a vessel fast enough, even if it got a hole in it, it'll stay full. That's right. Did y'all know that? God. Focus on the things that Yahuwah said to focus on. Let's keep going.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which Yahuwah Elohah had made. And he said to the woman, has Elohah indeed said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Oh, snap. He's coming with another teaching. Oh, snap. That's another word. That's the fiery serpent. Keep going.
Verse 2. And the woman said to the serpent, we may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohah has said, you shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die.
It's interesting that this is surrounding food. Because the situation in the wilderness was surrounding food too, wasn't it? They were like, man, we tired of this manna, man, the worthless bread. Ain't no food and water here. We tired of this bread. Y'all know that the Most High had opened up everything to Eve to eat. She was through in the garden except that one thing. But that one thing, focusing on what you don't got instead of looking at the abundance that you do have, caused a lack of contentment to where now you got a new teaching that you're entertaining, a new word, straight from the serpent too, hand-fed to you from Hasatan, the fiery serpent. Let's keep going.
Verse number 4. Then the serpent said to the woman, you will not surely die, for Elohah knows that in the day you eat it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like Elohah, knowing good and evil.
That's the teaching. It was totally contrary to the word that Yahuwah gave her Ish. It was contrary. Most High said something different than what Hasatan is saying. But because Hasatan came in there and gave that word, what happened in verse 6?
Verse 6. So when the woman saw that the tree was food for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree desirable to make one wise.
Do y'all see this? This is all about the nefesh. Just like in the wilderness, they said that their nefesh caused them to be, it was discouraged. And you see here, this is all about the nefesh. It said, when she saw that the tree was food for food, that's what you see with your eyes. It was pleasant to the eyes and desirable to make one wise. You know, that's the pride of life. That's when she moved in disobedience and ate it. And she also gave it to her husband with her, and he ate. We'll leave it at that. Go to John chapter 3. Go to the Brit Hadashah, John chapter 3. All right, read verse 13 and 14. No, read verse 13 through 16. John chapter 3, let's do it.
John chapter 3, verse 13. No one has ascended to the Shamayim, but he who came down from the Shamayim, that is, the Son of Man who is in the Shamayim. And as Moshe lifted up the serpent in the wilderness.
As Moshe lifted up what?
The serpent in the wilderness.
That's coming from the Torah portion that we just read. Keep going.
Even so must the Son of Man be lifted up.
So y'all see right here that the serpent is associated with Yahusha. The serpent in the wilderness. The serpent in the wilderness was made out of what? Bronze. Didn't Yahusha have the feet of bronze? See that? Isn't the altar in the tabernacle and in the temple isn't made out of bronze, the altar of burnt offering? I think we just talked about that recently. That altar is made out of bronze. That serpent was about Yahusha. It was about Yahusha basically becoming sin. Taking on the sins of his people. Bearing the sins of the nation of Israel. Keep going. Read verse 14 again, then go through 16.
Verse 14. And as Moshe lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. For Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life.
So this is the famous John 3:16. But read verse 16 again and see what. So this is in context to the bronze serpent being lifted up. Read verse 16.
For Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
So whoever believes in him shall not perish. Whoever believes in him, meaning whoever actually, see, he was comparing this to when the bronze serpent was lifted up, and everybody who focused on that bronze serpent, they did not perish, but they lived. So it's about keeping your focus. When it says believe, you know what I'm saying? You just think, oh yeah, I believe he's real. No. Whoever believes, meaning like you are honed in on Yahusha. You are honed in on Yahusha. Read verse 16 again.
Verse 16. For Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
You honed in on him, you will not perish. You will live. You might get hit. You might get bit, but you'll survive. You'll live if you hone in and you focus on the eternal. It's just like with boxing. I use boxing a lot because that's just something that we do, and it's a lot of Ruako aspects of it. So just bear with me. But when you go in a sparring match in the ring with somebody, matter of fact, this happened recently. This happened last week. I got into a sparring match with this Mexican guy, and he was off the chain. Off the chain. I mean, if y'all know a Mexican style boxer, y'all might not know about it, but basically what they do, basically what they do is they chase you down the whole time, and it's just smothering you. It's exhausting, and swinging the hardest they can the whole time. I mean, the whole time. And so I had already did a round, and they wanted me to, you stay in there, you stay. All right. The dude I fought the first round was Thub. That was a nice little friendly spar. They put this Mexican dude in here, man. All right. He does a full-blown Mexican style against me the whole time. And it's very easy in a boxing match. As soon as you get hit by one of them hits one time, you just panic. As soon as you feel like one hit, you'll be doing all kind of stuff. You're trying to, hold on, especially if he keeps swinging, try to run over. Everybody's chasing you down. But the way to win is even if you get hit hard, you keep your cool. Even if you hurt, you can't let them see it. You can't let them notice. You got to stay focused. You got to stay focused. You stay focused. And basically, I told the dude up because I was able to stay focused. He was coming all hard. He got real frustrated. He got angry. He got mad. He was swinging all wild. I even tried to be nice. I was trying to cool, like, hey, man, you all right? You all right? And when I did that, y'all know what he did? He tried to punch me even then. He still couldn't hit me. I still dodged that. I knew that was very Ruako. I knew it. I told him that. I talked to Moore Emanuel about it when it first happened. It's about this, y'all. It's about staying focused. It's about staying focused on Yahuwah. Focused on the eternal so that you don't die. So that you can quench the wiles of the serpent. See, the first time I fought somebody like that, I told you about that, it was about a year ago. And it didn't go down like that at all. Actually, he got the best of me in pretty much most of the fight. I won because I was able to knock him out at the end. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference. Back then, I didn't have as much experience dealing with somebody smothering you like that the whole time. You getting tired. You know what I'm saying? I was finally able to knock him out toward the end. That's how I won that one. I told y'all about that one. This time was different. He couldn't even hit me. The dude couldn't even hit me. Because of the focus. That's how y'all gotta be. Focus. People can be swinging at you as hard as they can. You can feel the wind. But you focused. You focused. You keeping your eyes on Yahusha. You keeping your eyes, so even if you do get hit, you're gonna move forward. You're not gonna be knocked out of this race though. People gonna throw teachings at you. There's gonna be darts at you, but you're not gonna fall into disbelief though. You're not gonna fall into murmuring like they did in the wilderness and had the Most High trying to cut you off. You're not gonna be wishy-washy about whether or not the Most High is real or nothing like that, or this walk is real. because you kept your eyes on the prize. Last verse, go to Mark 16, last patch. That's not the last one. Last two more left. Mark chapter 16. Mark chapter 16. We're going to start with verse 17. I'm going to read through 18.
Con. Mark chapter 16, verse 17. And these signs will follow those who believe. In my name they will cast out demons.
Oh, that rings a bell, huh? Keep going.
They will speak with new tongues.
Oh, keep going.
They will take up serpents.
Oh, we ain't think about that one though, huh? Keep going.
And if they drink anything deadly, it will by no means hurt them.
You know what they're talking about? Poison. That's associated with the serpents, right? They will take up serpents. I know a lot of us just automatically assume that meant, oh man, that means you can go pick up a king cobra and you'll be all right. They'll bite you, you'll be straight. Nah, that goes back to the garden. That goes back to you'll be able to quench the fiery darts of the wicked. You had the shield of faith. You'll be able to do these things when you're in Yahusha. He said that. He said, just as the bronze thing was lifted up, and they were quenched from what? The fiery darts of the serpents that were biting them. The Son of Man must be lifted up, so whoever believes on me, or in other words, homes in on me, that they won't be killed. That they won't perish. That's what it said, that they won't perish. These are the signs that will follow those who what? Who believe. So do you really think that you're going to manifest those signs just because you believe that Yahushua is real? I believe that he exists. I believe. Them signs ain't going to follow you because of that. That's just showing you what it means, what believe really means. Oh no, it means like you are honed in on him, like you are secured in him. You're in covenant with him. All right, that's the last one, y'all. Acts chapter 28, Acts chapter 28. Let's do verse 3.
Con. Acts chapter 28, verse 3. But when Shaul had gathered a bundle of sticks and laid them on the fire, a viper came out because of the heat and fastened on his hand.
Man, y'all see this? Keep going.
Verse 4. So when the natives saw the creature hanging from his hand, they said to one another, no doubt this man is a murderer, whom, though he has escaped the sea, yet justice does not allow to live. But he shook off the creature into the fire and suffered no harm.
Man, keep going.
However, they were expecting that he would swell up or suddenly fall down dead. But after they had looked for a long time and saw no harm come to him, they changed their minds and said that he was an Alua.
Y'all see that? They thought he was an Alua because that viper bit him. And he was supposed to die, but he survived. It's because he's an Alua on the earth. Those who believe in Yahusha, he makes them to become what? Sons of Alua?
That's right.
What are sons of Alua? Those are Aluas on the earth. But sons of Alua are basically Aluas on the earth. Y'all read Genesis 6 and they talk about the sons of Alua. That's what they were. They were the people of old, the people of renown. The giants, the sons of Alua in Genesis 6. Y'all follow me on that? We read that enough. We don't got to go there, right? Genesis 6, the sons of Alua. The giants. So if you look in Greek mythology, and you see what they were worshiping, those were them. Read the story of Zeus. They say his story is that he was he was like mixed with a Malak. He was I think his mom was from the earth, but a Malak had laid with her, and that's where Zeus came from. That lines up with Genesis 6. Yeah. Hercules as well. Oh, I had it mixed up with Zeus, Hercules. So that's Hercules. My bad. It's one of them. Well, I thought Zeus was mixed with celestial too, huh? Or he was full celestial. Okay. So Hercules, the Titans, Percy Jackson. I don't even know what that is at all. But even when you look at like I remember when I was growing up, they showed the Atlas. It was one of those Greco-Roman things that they believe. It was like the Atlas was like this big giant who would carry the world, the circular world. It was giants, man. That lines up with Genesis 6. They were renowned on the earth. They were Aluas on the earth. And then when you read the Brit Hadashah, we're not going to go there for time, but if somebody want to post the verse in the Shabbat questions and answers maybe or something like that. Paul talks about it several times. He talks about then once you in Yahusha, once you in him, then he gives you the ability to become sons of Alua. That's what's happening here. There was something that reigned in this region. It was a principality that had dominion over this area. And we warred and we took that. Because Yahuwah has made us to be sons of Alua. We took their place. We warred and we took their place. The Most High delivered them into our hands, giving us the ability to be sons of Alua. I submit the same thing was happening in this Torah portion. Again, it was a long Torah portion, but if you read it, you'll notice they started warring against what? Giants. They did. I think it's in chapter 21, 22. They go against Sihon. They go against Og. Those were giants. And the Most High delivered them into their hands. And they took the region. They took the lands and they inhabited those areas. Y'all know that wasn't the promised land, right? The Most High gave them land that wasn't on the promised land before they made it to the promised land. The Most High has taken down thrones and set up thrones. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Hallelujah. Praise Yahushua.
Hallelujah.
Rebirth of a nation. Hebrew kingdom building.